Nigga,
All right,
where's that
man.
coming from on a Friday night?
Hey, man, look, suited and booted,
I
ready to
guess.
get to it, ready to get it started. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into this.
Giuseppe, went from the hoop to the Chevy, went from the Chevy to Lamb. Now these hoes call me the man. Went from no hope to broke joke to $1 million man. Now these hoes call me the man. Now these hoes call me the man.
What up, y'all? This is a little off the cuff today, but this is the extra seasoning Black History Month roundup. I guess for the first week. Week 1, man. Week 1 was pretty good, man. You know, living good, smelling better, some to that effect.
Whatever Drake said.
Whatever Drake said.
You know.
But Black History Month. You know, trying to keep this thing equal. Try to
Facts.
support our queens just as much as we uplift ourselves.
Facts.
But I'll let you get into it, brother. I see your piece that you had there in the notes. I like what you got there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just basically wanted to start it out by saying not only is it Black History Month because, you know, as guys, you know, the winners always write the story. So historically speaking, it's been, you know, the guys. But I also believe that, you know, it's time to change the narrative because we got some women, especially some Black women. So
Right.
I feel like then, you know, from here on out, it should be called Black History / Her Story Month. Also, we can
Right.
even put Her Story / History Month, you know, to switch it up. But I definitely don't want to, you know, leave the women out of this any longer. I feel like it's been, you know, way too long. And of course, you know, we have people like Rosa Parks and, you know, Shirley Tislam and all them who are recognized. But I feel like
Mm.
there's way more than what they're teaching in the schools.
Of course.
So we definitely got to, you know, uplift these women, you know, to make them feel, you know, that we appreciate them way more than what we show because we ain't done the best job in showing it, but that's got to change.
Indeed. Indeed, man. We could actually stick to our usual. You know, we got to give them their flowers. So
Got
let's
to give
do
them
that.
flowers. All right, bet. So, for this week, I definitely wanted to switch it up a little bit, being that it is the first week of Black History Month. Um, we're going to start it out with Ms. Misha Green. She
Mm.
is the director of Lovecraft Country and Underground, which both of those shows actually star Miss Journey Smouye.
All right.
Um, Miss Journey Smouye. But no, for real, Journey Smollett does a wonderful job in that show, along with the other cast. I can't say enough about that. And Underground was amazing too until you know it got nixed. But that's just black shows, I
Never
guess.
saw an episode of Underground. I'm back with my bullshit.
Hey man, it's time to get up on this cinematic history here.
I
It
got
is
to.
time to get up on this cinematic history. But no, Underground was a really good story. Without saying too much, I definitely feel like it's down your alley. It's not
Mm.
focused too much on slavery, but it's more so the mastermind behind getting the Underground Railroad and stuff like that up and running. So we can get to freedom, boss.
Hmm.
But no, to keep it going, we still passing out flowers, right? So I'm gonna go ahead on and hit up Miss Yara Shahidi.
Hmm.
Just recently, binge watched the first and the second season again of Grownish. And Blackish, of
I
course,
gotta
is a staple.
I gotta catch up
Okay,
because
so you've seen it though.
I haven't seen the newest episodes, but I need to do that refresh. Um,
Okay, all right.
because it
So just
before it
just
been.
just as long just as long as you've seen something, that's all
Hey,
that
listen,
matters.
man, don't do me like that, man. I ain't seen some shit. I ain't seen some shit.
just as long, just as long as you've seen some, that's all that matters. But she does an amazing job on the show. Not only is she the star, the front of the show, she's also got production credits on that. So shout out to Kenya Barris for putting people in line, in
Right.
places to get these credits to where they are able to do their own thing. So yeah, we'll just give her flower. I'm passing another one to Miss Ava DuVernay. I don't know if you're noticing a trend here, but we got three great black women who are, of course, in cinematography and videography and
Mm-hmm.
just documenting um, things on video. But Ava, of course, did When They See Us. She did Selma. She did Wrinkle in Time and Queen Sugar. So I don't,
Mm-mm.
man. Ava DuVernay is up there.
With the
Like
best
if I
of them.
had like if I had a list, if I had a Mount Rushmore of black directors, she's on there. She's definitely on there. But and I hate to say it,
I
it's
give
like
you that.
yeah, I don't know anybody that would argue that. To
Mm,
be honest with you, because her eye, and then the way she tells stories, they 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 always make sense in the end. So definitely gotta give big props to Miss Ava DuVernay.
that's
We
facts.
appreciate you. But I don't know if you've seen last week's episode of the 85 South Show, man.
Nah, I actually checked out on because my YouTube algorithm is listen, man, when you got kids,
No, I in there but Baby Shark and what's that?
like my
Coco,
Coco
who's that?
Melon.
Coco Melon, right? Yeah, yeah. See, you got the kid, I don't.
Yeah, man. Listen, my
But
my algorithm is buns right now.
I believe that, man. I definitely believe that. But no, last week on 85 South, they had Mr. Dallas Austin. And of course, Dallas from like TLC and Usher and Monica earlier on. But um, the stories that this man told about Prince, about Michael Jackson, and it's crazy because the stories that he tells about Michael Jackson is like he's echoing what everybody else has said, which also makes the cartoon of Black Dynamite seem like it's actually true with how Michael Jackson might be an alien because nobody's ever seen Michael Jackson walk. And
Yeah,
on
that's
when
yeah,
he apparently he glides, like it's just he's in one place, you blink and he's in another place, you don't see him move. So but no, like for real, Dallas Austin went into you know how he came from Columbus, Georgia, and he worked in the band, not being able to read music at all, but
mm,
ended up turning into one of the greatest masterminds behind the boards that anybody's ever heard of. And he
crazy.
said to this very day he still can't read music, which is absolutely crazy because he puts sounds together and they make sense. He's not just putting sounds together just because he's
And
putting
it's
them
funny.
together and they make sense.
It's funny because I just watched Drumline for the 3 millionth time, and I
And
thought
that was
about
about him.
and I thought about when Bruh said a lot of people don't know how to know how to read the sign. They say toilet don't mean they don't know how to use one.
Exactly. Exactly. And it was crazy because he was like that of course, like a lot of people don't know that the movie was about him, but with not being able to read music and still being able to make people superstars just because you have an ear for it, that's wild. He told stories about Busta Rhymes. They're hilarious, but you get a chance, check that one out. It's a little
I
lengthy, but
definitely
it's worth it.
I definitely check that one out.
It's worth it. Rico Wade is next on my list. I can't go too long without talking about Rico because he is the mastermind. He birthed Dungeon Family in that house in the basement in East
That's your
Point.
guys.
That's
That's your
my
guys.
my guys, man. My guys. So yeah, I can't, go too long without talking about Rico and how he had his hands in Outkast, Sleepy Brown, and Goody Mob, and early on
Mhm.
Future. Future was on Dungeon Family. He used to go by
He,
Meathead.
yep.
Yeah,
I do
so
I do know that. I'm not even a native. I do know that though. If you know
if
music, you
uh if you're done though. So yeah, Rico is also a legend at Golden Glide, apparently. So
hmm
the man get busy on them skates. So big ups to you, Rico Wade.
ain't
And
bring
then
mine.
finally, nah, I can't. I got a lot to fall, man, and I'm too high in the air. If I fall, it's gonna hurt.
Oh boy.
If I fall, it's gonna hurt. But finally, to round out this bouquet we passing out today,
hmm
I got Trader Truth. Trader
That's my
Truth.
guy.
Trey ABN.
Yes, sir.
Assholes by nature, but this man is not an asshole. This man is the absolute opposite of it. Every time something happens, he is the first. He is the first responder. He's the first man out. He's always there on front lines. And it's not just for show. He's got the money. He's backing everything up.
Never performative on his part.
Never, never. The camera just happens to get him.
Right.
He don't do it for the show.
And that's just because we expecting him to show up.
Facts. So it's like you saw him at the first two happenings of last year, and then everything else that happened is just like, okay, we got to go find Trey because we know he's here.
When the whole thing with the Hurricanes in Houston went down, it was Trey the Truth and then the Cajun Navy. That was it.
Trey got to help out Houston though, man. That's home.
Right. Exactly.
Trey got to help Houston out. Trey and JJ Watt held that down.
He did. I got to give him his props on that.
Yeah, Trey and JJ Watt held that down. But yeah, so that was the bouquet for this week. It might be a little lengthy next week, but it's Black History Month, so I don't care.
Mean, it's Black History, man. Ain't really no limit on this thing, man. It's off the cuff, So because it is just a weekly roundup for Black History Month, I got a little more melanin in my weekly spins, I guess.
Go ahead.
But so for me, I'll just throw mine out there first. I revisited. I'll start with the women. I revisited Summer Walker, and over it. If not for the conspiracy theories and like she could be it for this R&B shit, man. Just like the voice that she got is incredible because anything
definitely.
she put her name on, I know it's probably gonna be some heat. That was it. We talked about we were riding the car today. We talked about just no skip classic type albums, and this is for me. This is one of them, like top to bottom. I didn't even think I was gonna like it like that, but top to bottom, no skipping. I went back to Jasmine Sullivan with Fearless.
That voice.
Now that's a voice.
That voice.
I just went with what found me this week. I really wasn't looking. I picked up a lot of K Camp. I don't know why. I hit shuffle and that's what was going on. So I went back through some of his tracks, some of his tapes and stuff like that. And I started thinking back to like Fort Valley days, man.
Hey, man, K Camp ride though.
But K Camp he was a soundtrack for just college in general.
Yeah, he was.
Like you could put K Camp to any situation. It could be some random shit on the yard, good or bad. But
him and Travis Porter,
he's still that nigga, man. I mean, I hope he don't quit. I gotta appreciate that good music while it's here, because it must stop making music. I mean, I don't know.
Definitely, and he's evolved a little bit too.
He has. He definitely has.
So
my last one was Lucky Day, the Painted album. So with that one is, well, he's from Louisiana, so I already picked up on his music a little bit sooner than most people, but you could definitely hear the Frank Ocean influence that is there, and mostly all of his songs. And did my research, kind of find out that was like his favorite artist when he was coming up trying to make music.
Makes sense.
Not the same content, obviously, but
art imitates art, though.
Definitely. But for me, I think that's it for me, man. I'll let you get into yours. I'm looking at yours. You got some nice stuff up
there. Did you listen to Jasmine Sullivan Hotels though?
I haven't made it there yet. I got some of her stuff. I gotta set the mood for her shit.
I give you that. It's sonically great. Of course, her range and everything on it is second to none. But she's got a few people on there telling their stories, and I think it's a great way to start a conversation about women taking back not only their sexuality but their identity. So yeah, whenever you get a chance to, definitely check that one out. But yeah, if I'm going to my spins, I will start with Sampha, the album Process, and more specifically Blood on Me and Mama's Piano. Those two songs are, I don't know, like when I got put on the Sampha, I think it was on, it was on Drake, right? 4422. And I was like, who is this guy on this song? And just looked up Sampha, and I realized that I think this album came out 2017, and he ain't putting nothing out since then. But his voice is just different, and it was just that voice that just stuck with me and just made me listen to the whole Process album. So definitely, if you get a chance, listen to that one if you haven't already. It's great. It's a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Mm.
Solid 8.5 out of 10. Um, I was listening to some Solange earlier this week. Also,
Gotta get that Solange in
got to
there.
get Solange, man. A seat at the table. Got to get the Solange in.
I gotta throw something in there. I was when I went to Houston a couple of years ago. It was my
Mhm.
first time back since like when I left Houston, like 2010, something like that, 11, somewhere around there, 2011. Of course, the first head ass thing I did, we got we got the rental car, and I just started bumping Solange. I'm like, I think we got around Texas Southern, and I just started bumping Solange like a real tourist. Like that was the most head ass shit I had done probably within the year, but it was just I had to do that shit.
Hey man, when in Rome, just don't be a tourist though.
Like, bro, that's how you get robbed.
You used to live right, exactly. Like, oh, we know he ain't from here. But to circle back to a seat at the table, Cranes in the Sky and
It's
Don't
a
Touch My Hair,
dope song.
incredibly dope songs. Especially with like having locks and everything, man, because when we were outside a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
it was always people who were just fascinated, like they've never seen black people with hair, or
Yeah.
they've never seen dudes with locks, right? So I'd always have people come up to me talking about like, oh my god, they're so unique and so different, and by people, who I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But they were always like, oh, they're so different, so unique, and everything. Do you watch them? That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. Do you watch
Well,
them? I ain't got nothing but nigga shit in my head, right? So it was like when I
peaches and berries in this shit, man.
right, it's all it is. That's all it is. I got pure Haitian hair. And as soon as I got it twisted, it was locked in like 2 months. So
Mm-hmm.
it didn't take no time at all. And I, just regular maintenance. So no, it's not dirty. I may go a few months in between a retwist, but that's it. I still
Nor should
wash
it
it.
ever be, because you could just do one of them damn ACV rinses if you need.
Exactly.
But it's like
Exactly.
y'all wouldn't know nothing about that because y'all too busy appropriating.
Exactly. Baking soda, apple cider vinegar, and some warm water.
And you don't necessarily need locks to even do this.
You
Like,
don't.
you know what I'm
And
saying? But like again, you don't need to participate all the time, man.
that's why the show is called Extra Seasoning, because we're gonna season them a little bit here.
You already know.
We're gonna season them a little bit. But yeah, so we got Childish Gambino next because the internet.
Mhm.
Um I got a great appreciation for that guy, from Stone Mountain and everything, but that nigga is talented.
Very, even though he's holding that shit above our head. I'm waiting for this show to come back, dude. I can't keep watching these two seasons over and over.
I know. I know, but apparently 2022 we get 2 seasons same year. So
It's just crazy because it got. I mean, I would hope so. It got pushed back after 19. It
right.
got pushed
So it
back into like you know what I'm saying. It got pushed back into 20, and then the panoramic happened, and it's like, all right, cool. Y'all gonna get this shit whenever we can get the studio to sign off.
man, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. But I mean, he promised us 2 seasons, so that's what 24 episodes next year.
That's crazy.
I'm cool,
I'm just gonna
but
let it build. I'm just gonna let it build. So I can go 2 days
right,
straight.
and just watch it all at once.
Right.
Just give me a weekend, give me a rainy weekend,
Because
and
I'm
give me a
sure it's
box of pizza.
like I'm sure it's finished after this
Yeah, it has to be because I don't.
because he's moving in another direction.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna keep on, pushing it. So, season 4 it ends.
Plus, I think he's accomplished at least 75% of what he wanted to with the show.
Yeah, I mean he's had Cat Williams on here. He didn't had Niles on there. He didn't have some names. So I'm definitely, like you said, expecting it to end at season 4. I don't see him dragging that out any longer.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so he's just just a talented dude, and because the internet wasn't anything less than you'd expect from a guy like him. Songs like World Star and 3005 and The Worst Guys, Yeah, so and then I got the special edition 12-inch. So that came with the screenplay. I read through the
Yeah,
screenplay while listening to it.
yeah, you
It
stand.
does. It adds a different experience. That's all I'm gonna say. It adds a different experience because you can understand the interludes and everything in there. So
Well, I definitely uh make my rounds and come back to that.
do that. Do that. And then to finish out my listens of this week, I got Quincy Jones with The Dude.
I know somebody who is gonna love that input right there.
Name
Onisha,
drop.
you already know it. Onisha Gary, she's definitely gonna love
Okay.
that input.
That's for you then. That's for
You,
you, sis.
you already know.
That is for you. But nah, like Quincy Jones was ahead of his time also. Um I'm not Spanish or anything, so I'm definitely not gonna try to pronounce that. I know Corrida song. Hey man, my R's don't roll. My R's don't roll at all, but whatever. But no, yeah, Quincy Jones, he's of course, everybody says, a visionary and everything, and not to
Right.
be too cliche, but that's true. Um, Gold Member was amazing. Q's Juke Joint was amazing.
Yep.
So those are my spins, man. That's what I've been listening to this week.
Well, that's what's up. I should have just jumped this back to the beginning because honestly, I I wanted to give that section just media consumption. It didn't. I wasn't even gonna follow the normal show format because it's just a little bit of everything. Since we doing
Mm-hmm.
all black everything,
Mm-hmm.
um, I just wanted to talk about two of my favorite writers, Christopher Paul Curtis
Mm-hmm.
and Toni Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Christopher Paul Curtis, reason being, and I know it would seem cliche, but it's one of his best books. But Not Buddy. When I was when I was younger, it was the first book because it's not that I didn't like to read. I didn't like what I was being made to read.
Right.
Um, but this was one of the first books that caught my attention and actually kept it. I could visualize pretty much everything that the little man was going through. It was just very very descriptive, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's probably my favorite part about him. He's just a very descriptive writer. Um,
Right.
no matter really what your reading level is, you probably would get hooked on any of the books that he's writing. But Toni Morrison, um,
Speak
she
on it.
just was a badass, man. Like just take no shit. Most of the gems I got from her are just things like take control of your own message. I saw an interview. She was just like, oh, about white America not being receptive to black stories and different stuff like that. And she's basically telling her, like, how would you know that if we never put this stuff out? Like, you don't get to decide who is interested in what.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing, I took that message with this show. The thing that we got here with extra season, that's we had that conversation a while back. I just for the longest I thought that maybe I could pull something like this off. Me and you can get together and make some
Mm-hmm.
shit shake and be like, you know what, it may be great. Or it may be shit. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if I'm not hearing what I want to hear, why don't we get on here and talk that shit we want to hear?
Right.
So, as far as what I picked, that's another thing I picked up from her. Don't wait for anybody to fill your voice. Just, if it's something you're looking for, if it's a book you want to read, write that book.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, that's like I said, she's just a badass.
Yeah.
But I
Definitely.
see there's a lot of your shows. Okay. And I'm
Yeah.
seeing one that, yeah, I'll let you talk about it.
Gotcha. Well, I guess to kick that off, I got Wyatt Senec's Problem Areas. This was something that I started watching a while ago. That, of course, since it's Black History Month, I went back to.
Mm,
But it basically just addresses the problems like not only Black people deal with, but it is centered around us. Obviously. But yeah, it just deals with the problems that not only Black people face, but everybody else, and how we could change the narrative with different actions. They do take different things and try to like put a comedic spin on it, and that's because it kind of masks the pain. If you're out there looking for just a good show to get some education on police brutality, the ghettos and everything, and why they're called the ghettos, and global change, climate change, and everything like that, Definitely, give Wyatt Senex's Problem Areas a watch. It's on Hulu. I don't know if it's anywhere. I think it's on YouTube also.
I
But
check.
yes, definitely watch that show. It's pretty funny and it'll keep your attention. But I got Random Acts of Flyness next, and this one is a lot to process. It's very similar to the Eric Andre show with just the, I guess, like
That dude
the
is
right, yeah, him and Hannibal Burris.
that. We had small conversation about what is weird, but if we talking about what weird, Eric Andre.
Eric Andre is a little out there, man. I ain't gonna hold you on that one. He is out there.
I tried to watch a little bit of. I think he had a special on Netflix, and I tried to catch a little bit of it, and I wanted to laugh so bad, and I couldn't get with any of what he was talking about.
It's hard to watch Eric Andre because with some of the stuff that he does on his show, it's like, all right, so how much of this is scripted and how much of this might be real?
Right,
Because I watched him punch Freddie Gibbs in the face with a boxing glove. If Freddie Gibbs don't get punched in the face, man, you
right.
ain't finna just come up and punch the rabbit now. That ain't gonna happen. But yeah, so it's just a lot of just over dramatic overselling of things in this show, but it too focuses mainly on black people. Well, not mainly, it's really just centered around black people, but it's of course police brutality, it's black sexuality, black mental health.
Mm.
um it's just got a lot to do with just black people in general, and not necessarily the issues, but coming to grips with yourself. So yeah, I'm black, yeah, I got my own issues, but what am I going to do about it? Because I'm not going to just expect people to just continue to coddle me and everything. Like,
Mm.
I'm 30, I'm 31 almost. I can't ask nobody to hold my hand.
Right.
So I just got to deal with the shit that I got going on. And this show, kind of goes into detail about how black people don't deal with stuff. We just like to sweep stuff under the rug and just
That's
forget about it.
crazy because that was exactly the shit we talked. What was that, episode 2? That was in the
Hmm.
Inspire Yourself episode. We
Right.
talked about that.
We sweeping shit under the rug and just trying to forget about it, and you can't do that.
That's why I said I'm very good at that. I'm working on that, but I'm very good in doing that, and I'm trying not to take that into the way that trying not to take it into the way that I act as a parent,
Hmm.
because those type of things spill over later on, and then people say, "Oh, where did I go wrong with this child?" And
Right.
we try to confront shit head on. So
And you try to instill that into him. So
exactly.
it's a learned behavior. So if he sees you doing it, of course he gonna do it. So if he sees you being vulnerable in front of him, Dad, I'm dealing with this.
I got something with that later on too, so I won't go too
Cool,
far into it. But
cool, cool.
that's mostly the thing that I'm trying to do right now is, like you said, learn behavior, so you do more of what you see. And
Hmm.
so even though it may be a little uncomfortable at first because that's just not the way you were brought up,
Right,
definitely necessary. So
right.
like I said, I'll touch on that later. I ain't gonna interrupt.
Nah, it's cool. He has this segment on his show on every episode called "A Thousand Worries That a Black Person Should Not Have to Worry About," and those hit home. He's got this recurring character on there called Ripper the Reaper, who happens to be a black woman who is just devastated that she has to do her job, which is reaping souls. The show gets real deep, but I think it's definitely one of those mandatory shows you got to watch. You just got to sit through it. Of course, like I said, it's entertaining, but what show isn't that's trying to convey a message? And then finally, I got Watchmen. This was just pure entertainment here. No, well, I don't want to say like no,
Now, I've
underlying message.
I've never seen an episode of Watchmen, but it's not because I didn't plan on it. It was more
Hmm.
so because I wasn't paying for HBO.
I get it. I get that.
until
I
I
get
figured
it.
until I figured out my cable hack that I will not spill on the airways because it ain't none of your goddamn business.
Dripping in finesse.
But until I started figuring out how to invest this premium cable, I was like, yeah, I want to see it, but I'm not paying for that.
Dripping in finesse. I didn't watch it until I got Hulu with HBO, HBO Max or HBO Plus or whatever it is. But yeah, so the show is just basically it's like the comics in that, you know, Dr. Manhattan is still a character, but it's not like the comics in that the show follows Regina King's character, and she is basically a cop, but she is also, I guess, chosen. I don't want to say she has a superpower or anything, but she's chosen. She is chosen to protect a secret, and the secret, of course, has to be revealed one day. I'm trying to tell you what it's about without telling the story,
Listen,
because
I'm
you
a
gotta watch. Yeah, you gotta watch this one.
yeah, I'm a visual learner. It's not it won't spoil it. It's
You-
like yeah.
Well, well, all I'm gonna say is this one takes a turn, and when it takes a turn, it's like, all right, we're gonna get off the exit right here at 100 miles an hour, and we're not gonna slow down. So, the show is I think once you get to like episode 5, is really all gas, no brakes. Everything happens so fast. And I think because no, I don't want to say that because it wasn't said that they weren't going to get a season 2 until after the first season ended. So
Mm.
it was after they'd already shot and everything. We're not getting a season 2. Everybody's upset about it, but one of the cast members said he wasn't coming back, and Regina King's like, if he ain't coming back, I'm damn sure not coming back.
Makes all the
So
sense in the world.
right, because you can't have that show without her. But yeah, so that was what I've been watching this week, outside of work and all that other stuff that's been occupying my time.
What do I have? I only had two. I hadn't been watching much TV. But I did because I know it's coming back. I wanted to revisit Queen Sugar.
Hmm.
You know, I have an affinity for anything Louisiana, so
Of
I checked it
course,
out. But it's just like, I didn't know what I was expecting to see. But the show turned out to be really good. But also, I revisited The Last Dance. I watched like the I think first 2 or 3 episodes over again, and I just was, um,
incredible.
yeah, like it was. You just sit there and you just stuck. Like you just sit there and you stuck because you looking
Yeah.
at it and you like, even though I was, what was I like 6? I think 6. I was like 7. I was like 7 when he left the Bulls, but I
Hmm.
do remember all of that. Like the note that I had there is how modern marketing to me is still based on a GOAT conversation. Like
Yeah.
even today is like maybe in the past it was kind of like, hey, she's the prettiest or he's the smoothest or whatever. But when Jordan came along, it's kind of like you just like the Big Bang happened. Like you just put all that together.
Hmm.
Uh, mystery, athleticism. Um, I mean, he was a smooth guy, the bald head thing. Like Jordan made that popular. I don't care what a lot of
Right.
people say. Like Jordan made the bald head thing popular. Um, like to me, he made that take off. But just that whole GOAT conversation is what's driving marketing right now. Anytime you do something, immediately, oh, he's a GOAT of this,
Hmm.
she's a GOAT of this. Like that
Hmm.
conversation doesn't happen without Jordan. People knew Jordan was the best ever, 2, 3 years into his time with Chicago. And it wasn't just
Yeah.
because he was on the court, it was him off the court also.
Other than other than the obvious, with Kobe, who else? I guess in terms of basketball, who else deserves a 30 for 30, something like The Last Dance? Because obviously Kobe's gonna get one.
Whew. Well, I know
Obviously
Kobe.
Kobe's getting one.
We know Kobe's getting one, but if we talking, you talking 30 for 30 style, or you just talking a 30 for 30?
Like The Last Dance.
Okay,
Just the
something
same way.
like the Last Dance. Okay,
Yes.
because the Last Dance that's a tough one. Let's see, somebody that deserves something similar to the Last Dance. Let me think. Let me think. All sports.
I got something wild.
For me, if we talking all sports, I would say Jim Brown.
Okay. I would definitely give you Jim Brown.
Definitely love to see something on the level of the Last Dance because just from like I haven't seen One Night in Miami, but I'm gonna get to that. But just off
Yeah.
of One Night in Miami, just like that story alone, I need a 30 for 30 style with that. But in
Yeah.
part, I think you could
Yeah.
go for with that.
I got something super wild here. And I was thinking about this earlier, as I was reading over the notes. But like, what if, what if Derrick Rose got one? Like, just man, this is everything leading up to. This is the MVP season. This is everything leading up to the injury,
I would give him a 30 for 30, but
but
if
not a
it's
series.
not a series like The Last Dance. The only reason I say that is because, like we just talked about with The Last Dance, the level of detail was just very, very different. So
Hmm.
30 for 30, they do topics. So like you said with the injury, I could see a 30 for 30 about his injury and everything leading up to it. But as far as The Last Dance, they took that and it was about the last season the Bulls were together, but they mashed so much stuff into there from the time he
Yeah,
first got there to the end. Like they talked about the shoes, they talked about the band ones.
yeah,
Um, when he came back and played in the Chicago, it's like they basically did a whole history lesson on Jordan. If you knew nothing
yeah,
about Jordan, you knew who he was after that.
yeah. I definitely give you that then. So maybe Derrick Rose wouldn't be the best option.
But I definitely could see a 30 for 30 though.
He needs one.
I think he'll get one because if not
He,
for that,
he's
Derrick Rose is you know, Derrick Rose Hall of Fame pre-injury. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and I mean,
Youngest
maybe
MVP.
at some point, if he can just stick around and pad his stats for long enough, he'll get in the Hall of Fame. But pre-injury, he was definitely Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
no doubt.
I don't think that championships in his future. Not
Man,
now. Definitely not now.
if he had made it to the Lakers last year, he'd have one.
Hey
But whatever,
man, woulda, coulda, shoulda. At this point, right?
whatever. We'll let KCP get another one. It is what it is.
Dang, you
It's funny
confident, huh?
because I told you last year. I said
You confident?
KCP. I said KCP is that X factor, and you laughed. You said KCP. I said, bro, watch. And then the finals came around and he turned up.
That's crazy because
He
my
really did.
my dad and my aunt are from Greenville, and
Mm.
when he took that trophy down there, all down Greenville High School, all down, they was all like, "Oh, hometown, hometown this, hometown." It's like you didn't know who KCP was yesterday. I don't know why you were out here trying to act like you just been a Lakers fan and all this and that. You didn't know who KCP was yesterday.
But
Yeah.
do you have any black businesses that you know of that you would like to highlight? I'm sure you got one, at least one.
I got a couple actually.
Okay.
Um, as we spoke on it last week, my older brother did launch his official site on the first, so he wanted to
Mhm.
start Black History Month off, with his website and his merch for sale. So,
Brown Beast Fitness.
yeah, Brown Beast Fitness LLC, and the website is brownbeast.com. You can go on there. You can buy your workout plans. You can go on there and buy, workout gear. You can go on there and buy consultations. So he'll, sit down with you one on one, whether it be on Zoom or if you're in Louisiana in the Baton Rouge area, he can sit down with you face to face.
I'm
And
definitely gonna drop all these in the notes too. So if you
yeah,
if you leave something out, it's cool.
my little brother, uh, a gifted
Get
production, gifted content, man, gifted content. He's at a gifted production on Instagram, but he is a budding black photographer here in Atlanta. The man got an eye. You just give him the vision you got, he'll interpret it, translate it, and your prints, whether they be digital or physical prints, will come out looking crisp.
We
So,
always knew this nigga was gonna be in somebody's spotlight.
hey man, had to. This man is a
We all
celebrity.
ever since children's church.
This ever since Children's Church. Shout
Always
out to
knew.
Elizabeth Baptist. But now, man, this kid he bumps elbows with the who's who in Atlanta. So he
Most
bumps
definitely.
elbows with he bumps elbows with the upcoming in Atlanta. So he kind of knows what he's talking about. So yeah, definitely check him out if you're in the Atlanta area. You need any shots, headshots, maternity, graduation coming up. So just hit him up. A Gifted Production on Instagram.
You got any more, or do you want me to throw a few out there for y'all?
Go ahead, man. You got a list right there.
I do, man. I got like four. First, because this is the guy that I get. I don't even buy retail for. I don't shop retail for cologne anymore.
Hmm.
Um, guy by the name of Devin Bro. He's out of Lafayette, Louisiana. His brand is called Genre Parfums. he has a few like Tom Fords he's done, but he has his own um perfumes and colognes that he's come up with. My favorite from
Mhm.
him right now is Apples and Aces. The best way to explain it would be if you've ever smelled a wine black and mild, right? Take that, add a little bit of leather to it. Some yeah, take some vanilla and some leather and kind of turn those two notes up and
Mhm.
stick that together. That's kind of what you get. And I mean, when I first read the notes, it wasn't really confusing. It was just I don't know how it was gonna work together, bro. When I smelled
Right.
it, the only thing I've been spraying for going on like maybe 4 or 5 months now. So
What?
if I get a chance to bring it, I'll let you smell it. It's definitely that deal.
Bet.
And I think his his flagship is called "Ran After My Car." It's it's funny because so his thing was like like oh I smell so good them girls ran after my car. That's kind of how you put it together. But I'll try to get like a sample and I'll bring it to you.
Mhm.
Next is Botanical Safari, flower shop in Douglasville. I hadn't actually got a chance to physically go to a lot of these places. Like
Right.
so you got Kay the Other Way, Nikki Byram. That's Anisha's aunt. She
Mhm.
does a lot of art. I think you could check her out on Instagram at Kay the Other Way. I'll put that in the show notes too. But she does a
Mhm.
lot of paintings. And she takes those, turns them into print. She got T-shirts, journals. We actually, I think we got some of her art in the house. She did one for Lee for his room. Um,
Mm.
I'll check that out. I'll see if I can put that on. I'll put that on the page. Actually, I'll put it on Instagram.
Bet.
And Wish Granted Beauty. She got like waist beads and I think soaps and like these little like bath salts and stuff like that. Shit smells really good, man. Like
Yeah.
out to play and use it in my damn self. It's this
It's
vanilla and something that she got. I don't know what it is. I gotta go back and check it out. But this shit is when I tell you like edible,
yeah.
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 Valentine's Day
Speaking of
coming up, man.
speaking speaking of soaps, man, you shouted out a soap brand. I think it was last week.
Urban Eden.
Um, yeah. Okay, so that's what you was talking about right there. Gotcha.
Well, no,
Yeah. So
this is
I'm
actually
a,
somebody else. So Urban Eden, I was gonna put them in a later episode, but I'll talk about them now. This is Quentin and his wife Taryn. But
mhm,
if I had the money then, trust me, I would have invested in them because like I could already see the vision and they took off, especially like after the pandemic started, they took off. Like people were
right.
looking for like soaps and natural remedies and salves and stuff like that. Like it's funny because I don't know what they bringing in yearly at this point, but if they not at 1 million, they will be soon. And
Sheesh.
it feels good to be able to say that I personally know somebody that's in that bracket. Like I don't care
You
what
know, a
nobody says,
millionaire.
but
Big ups, man. Big ups to Urban Eden.
exactly, man, exactly. It's crazy to see that.
Let's make
Uh,
that wealth happen.
I hope they continue. I love that for them. Usually at this point we would take out the trash.
Mhm.
But this is the Black History Month roundup, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna reserve this time to just talk about where we could be better as a people. I don't know what you got, but if you want me to, start it, I will.
I definitely have, a couple things there.
Oh, go ahead.
One thing is to be, more open about how you feel. Because for so long, and this goes back to the whole mental health thing. For so long, black people have, just been shut down because, we've been always brought up to, be strong, suck it up,
Yep.
move on about your life, don't talk to nobody. Because mama always told you, keep the folks out your business, right? But sometimes you got to talk about that. Sometimes you got to talk about it the process because I
Some of
believe
the
that.
some of the worst things we've ever been told to speak to that point is, keep your business, which I
Hmm.
do get that, but it's nuance to that.
Right? Yeah.
Like this is why sometimes you have black people who scared of therapy. Like I know myself, I could recognize that I need therapy on certain things. I just haven't got to a point where
Mm,
I'm, able to get to that point. But I guess the first step is just being able to at least understand that, hey, I probably need to talk to somebody about this stuff.
Acknowledgement, just to get back that mental health is something that hasn't necessarily been taken, you know, or hasn't had the highest regard in the black community in the past. But that, of course, is another narrative that we do need to change because in order to, get to where you want to be physically, you got to be where you got to already be there mentally. In order, like I said, in order to do that, you got to already be there, mentally. And the only way to do that is to be able to express how you feel, talk about what's on your mind. Don't just bottle shit up because when it comes out, it ain't gonna stop coming out
Exactly.
until there's a hole in the wall or you know something else that didn't happen. So don't don't keep shit in. Don't keep shit in so long. Uh, there's nothing wrong with talking to somebody because that of course is a realization that there is an issue at that point. So that's one thing. Another thing that we as black people need to do while talking about our issues is to stop having so many opinions on how people live their lives. Like what you got going on, unless it's a joint venture, ain't gonna benefit me and it ain't gonna hurt me.
That is absolutely wild that you said that because we talked about that shit in the car probably just yesterday.
It's the truth though.
Like,
It's the truth. Like I'll look at Instagram and I'll go through the shade room and if they post 15 things a day, 9 out of those 15 things is some drama.
yep,
Like whatever Masika or whoever that is got going on ain't got nothing to do with you.
yeah, but black drama sells
Black
just as
drama
much,
sells.
if not more, as sex. Like, you would think black
Yeah,
sexuality sells, black drama.
yeah,
These
yeah.
niggas finna get the hooking. Oh, come on.
Right. No, definitely.
Black drama sells 10 times more than black sexuality because that's a given. Black women and men have been sexualized since the damn dawn of time. So we already know
Mm-hmm.
that's a given. But black drama,
Mm-hmm.
be like, shit, I can get my shit off and get my comedy fix and all this other shit at the expense of, these black people, and I can go home and laugh about it with my family. Be like, yeah, that's gonna sell.
And it's on cable TV.
Right.
You ain't gotta sneak and watch it. You ain't gotta sneak and watch it. So yeah, just talking about things and getting them out, but also not being so much into people's business to where you feel like your opinions have to have some sort of weight on how they live their life. Because again, what you eat ain't gonna make me shit. Word to Jay-Z. So those are the only two things I got for that. We just gotta be better. We just gotta be better. We gotta wanna be better. Just work on it.
Definitely. In fact, one of the things I'm working on, as we say, just work on it, is to, and this goes for everybody. I won't say just your children, but just speak more love into your children. Be able to be more vulnerable with hell, family, friends, all of that. Just try to put
Hmm.
more love into any of your interactions, really. Um,
Right.
because people feed off of your positive energy, whether you know it or not. If you
Mm.
go in, if you're going into a situation already mentally checked out, it's gonna be bad no matter what. Um,
Hmm.
I think, I think as far as speaking more love into your children, just if, like I said earlier, if that's not the way you grew up, it could be a little difficult at first, but it's a thing you got to do because you don't want to get to a
Right.
point. You don't want to get to a point later on where you looking and you see how, like, I look at it now, like I see how some people are with their parents, and it's not that I don't love my parents. It's just you only show so much affection in certain situations. So it's like, you see certain people, they hanging all over their parents and hugging all up on their mom and dad and this and that. And it's not that it's weird. It's just a situation
Hmm.
where you're like, okay, I've never really was that close physically with either of
Hmm.
my parents. So it's a thing that I try to flip it and I try to make sure I hug my son a lot, kiss on him, do whatever, beat him up
Hmm.
a little bit, just try to get that physical affection
Right.
because it don't always have to be, hug your daddy, kiss, this and that. It don't have to be all that, but just the physical touch till, that lets people know that you give a shit. I swear it does. So it was this thing that I was looking at about people, your network is your net worth and stuff like that. But a lot of the reason people don't see increase in their business because they don't really lean in when they actually network. Like they just shoot the shit.
Mm, right.
Like this, oh hey, I met this person. We talked about I don't know, he may be a damn farmer. We talked about some plants and this and that, and they know this person who does this. They can get me this price on this, and you doing the front end work, but you're not following up. I mean, hell, send these people a Christmas card. You work with people and you got their address. Just send them a Christmas card.
Right.
Hey, send them an email, send them a text. Hey, just thought about the conversation we had a couple weeks ago. Just wondering where you at with this, and I got some new contacts on this. I don't know if you know anybody that need this. Like, just
Yeah.
try to lean in more when you network because half the time, I don't even say half the time, 70% of the time, at least for me, networking
Hmm.
don't have shit to do with what we actually networking for. We talk about sports and working out and
Right.
barbecue and different shit like that. Your networking is just being able to show somebody that you know how to build a relationship. It's not,
Right.
you don't have to do, you don't have to be anything about what you actually supposed to be working about.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that because it's like you said, it's just there's more to talk about, than just the business. And of course, you got to get the business out of the way. You got to talk about the business, of course, get it solidified. But to create those connections that people will not be able to second guess, or people won't be able to be like, I don't know, this dude's kind of shaky, kind of
Right.
shady, or whatever. Kind of got to go, a little bit above. You got to, show that you care, show that somebody's on your mind. So if you're working with somebody on a project and, there's a deadline to this project, y'all get it done, you know, send a nigga a thank you card or send a nigga a congrats card. Like,
Right.
hey, we got that shit done. Be a person,
Right.
be a human in
Like,
case you do need to, like you said, lean on somebody. Then you'd be able to, hey, let's collaborate on this again. You know, go buy that helper drink. Take them out to eat or whatever. So y'all build that connection and y'all are able to work in the future. That's
most,
that.
most definitely.
That's that. Show people you appreciate them.
Um, it's much deeper than business because I remember when you and Al were up at Athlete's Foot. Like that was for me. Like y'all didn't outside of the shoes. That place didn't have shit to offer me. I just had fun being up there. I had a whole
Right.
job that I was at for 8-9 hours. I was up there just like I said, just leaning in and networking
Right.
in a way that could benefit me later. I might not want to shoot for 6 months, but I sit
Right.
there and I talk with y'all every fucking day. And then come 6 months later, oh, I like the cool gray lows that's coming out. Oh shit, no problem. We put yours to the side when the box come in. Bet.
That's it.
Like
That's
it's
it.
and I mean, you don't want to try to go in to a situation long gaming people, but at the same time, if that's an interest or a hobby that you got, like okay, we like shoes. Yeah, I may not need help getting the shoe for 6 months, but if it's a shoe I know is gonna be limited, and be like, okay, let me build this
Hmm.
relationship.
Right. Hey, speaking of, word to Al. Shout out to Al, man.
Yeah, definitely shout
Alton McCullough. You gotta come on the show. He listens to it, so I know he's gonna hear it. Your new head coach is a piece of work, by the
out.
way. Your new head coach can't read a script, but it's the Black History Month episode, so we're gonna save that until you
Right.
come on.
Maybe
Come
we
on the
get
show, man.
maybe we'll get him on at the end of Black History Month and let him talk a little music. He deep in the music game, so
Yeah, so it's like you said, just build those relationships. I'm all for it. Whatever you got to do to, at the end of the day, get it done and make yourself happy as well as, make the family happy. Just do it.
but I ain't gonna keep y'all too long, man. That was the Black History Month roundup for week 1. We're gonna do this 3 more times, maybe 4. Cause I like the concept. It just might not stick to Black History Month. If we're gonna elevate, we might do this at least once a month going forward.
Consistent. Right.
Definitely, because I mean it's a lot of black input in everything. So it's no reason that we can't do this.
Right. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I do appreciate y'all for listening. I think we hit up 150 plays now, man. I ain't checked it.
Word.
I'm like, I know it's a small start, but it's definitely quick. I
Hey,
ain't
man.
expect nobody to be listening, man. I just wanted to come get this shit off my chest.
Humble beginnings, man. I'm with it.
So
I'm with it.
I appreciate every little bit, man. Anybody who listen, anybody who's subscribing, we appreciate everything. So with that, I guess we'll go ahead and we'll end it. This is another episode of Extra Seasoning, but this is our Black History series. It's been Deontay Jamel and your boy SBS 4K. Y'all be checking back. I think we're gonna get one more episode this weekend too.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We'll get one more episode. And I'll make sure I got all the black business down at the bottom. Y'all support us, man. Most definitely.
Support them too.
No disrespect to the politically correct, but we need that extra season.
Gang.
Chevy, went from the Chevy to Lamb. Now these hoes call me the man. Went from no hope to broke joke to $1 million man. Now these hoes call me the man. Now these hoes call me the man. Giuseppe. Went from the hoop to Chevy. Went from the Chevy to Lamb. Now these hoes call me the man. Went from no hope to broke joke to $1 million man. Now these hoes call me the man. Now these hoes call me